Right, welcome back. Last time, yeah, defeated Sinsun Sun, and I guess I could call them their ward, um, Kaxkanas. They were being guaranteed by them, so yeah, by Sinsun Sun, so figured it would be a good opportunity to get both of them at the same time. I also annexed New Spain. All of it. Which is why my name is so stretchy now. It's all wrong religion, but at least it's right culture, and most of it is going to have pretty poor communication, although it's actually better than I anticipated. I expected it to be far, far worse. Oh well. It does look like things should be going decently, at least for the time being. Though I'm definitely going to have to invest into naval infrastructure if I want anything good coming out of here. Oh well. It does look like... Wow, autonomy's going down fast. Although it does not have to... Okay. That might have to do with other stuff. Especially considering this all was recently annexed. And I don't see why this would have better communication than that. So, probably not correct. Oh well. Also, I have gone ahead and done some reforms, specifically to reduce administration costs by rational divisions, as well as increase yearly state reach, which is nice. And then also one to reduce provincial corruption at the cost of increased administrative costs. I'm probably going to have to also affect this as well in order to do stuff, but it's... yeah. There's a lot of bad stuff that has happened recently, at least with regards to corruption, so I'm going to have to be careful. Especially since my income is in the gutter. The only reason why it's positive right now is that I got 340 ducats from the peace deal. So in actuality, I'm losing about 50 ducats a month. That's quite a bit, especially since... yeah, I just got the investments. Joy, that's a lot of money out again. Oh well. I'm also worried of rebels, especially since there's already a group of rebels up here that I had to wait for the end of the war to deal with. Well, I still have to deal with. The war ended very recently, like start of the month, so that's getting started on. And I'm also almost done conquering the innards. It's just this blue country and this yellow country, so Taleco and Sinsensan. They're all that's left. I have also decided to start construction on fortifications. Yeah, the thing takes almost 10 years. 110 months, or 112. I'm not entirely certain, but it's going to take a long while. Maybe 108? Either way, extremely long time. So if I really want fortifications, I'm going to have to get started on them soonish. However, I can't do that while provinces are coring, or at least not specific provinces, so... Oh, and I'm also almost done annexing Zapotec, which is nice. Especially since my Diplo points are running low due to a combination of using them up for taxes, Zapotec, and peace deals, so... I hope I can get them in especially soon, because I don't want to lose yet another province to Mexico. Oh, here's the war result. Yeah, a couple provinces managed to get sieged down, with the worst being shortly getting lost. Oh, and yeah, there was a plague up here. Smallpox. Thankfully, it looks like it has stopped spreading. Nope, it's still going around. Yeah. I'm regularly losing about 10% of my population from smallpox. Though it does seem like it's only heading along this coastline. So far, it seems like the only province currently affected is Chortli. Let's hope it stays that way. Although immunity does seem to be increasing. That's a good thing with infections. Immunity will increase as time goes on, and exposure increases, though it is best to have small-scale exposure in order minimal, just weak exposure in order to minimize damages. Like with the COVID thing, it's best to have a low rate of infection so that the medical healthcare system isn't overwhelmed. Although I would also have to say that during this time, medical infrastructure is pretty poor. Not even just investment-wise. Technologically, medicine is very, very awful during this time, so... Although you can say the same for a lot of the things we do. Oh, right, coalitions are also a thing. Thankfully, they are unlikely to do too much to me. Simply because, well, they're a colony. I found it unlikely that they'll go up against me even on their own. I mean, they only have 5,000 troops. They're not particularly powerful. The worry really is... Where is... It's in diplomatic, isn't it? Coalition map mode. Enter a coalition. Could enter a coalition. Could, although I find that unlikely. Definitely could. Okay, so it's mainly just Spanish colonies plus a couple... Plus Mexican Ferradini. And Noval Occitanie. Okay. The others don't really care. Due to a combination of... there's also Castilian Peru. Castilian Brazil isn't actually the case. English Colombia is close, though. However, once I start focusing on these again, it won't produce as much risk as the expansion, because that's not going to be of their culture or religion. Right. Okay, so I don't need to actually state anything here. Stuff I already stated. The necessary provinces. Although it might take a while for communication to rectify itself. It's not going to be nearly as good as it seems over there. Not nearly. Though, okay, good harborage means that this province will be doing decently. If I really want to do anything, I might actually set up capital infrastructure. But that's something that can be handled later. Oh, I'm also going to have to handle a force limit. Most of these troops I don't really need. I don't need the capital at all. Now the rest can just join in. Although I might lower the number of infantry depending on combat with 27. 20 plus 6, 20. Don't really need to. Plus extra cannons will help with sieges and damage. Definitely damage. Right, if you can repair it and fully upgrade them. Alright, so not yet, I guess. actually start drilling again. It has been a while, but it shouldn't. Wait. Let's see here. Skip these. Probably should. I'm gonna need more transport, aren't I? Okay, let's queue 5 more transports. Right, and go ahead and protect trade again. Alright, black. Okay, I gotta wait a minute. My naval force limit is so massive, I don't really care about how many ships I have, I just need to make sure I don't lose too much money on them. Especially since the treasury is rapidly losing money. But as provincial corruption goes down, and certain industries become profitable, more profitable, that should improve again. How terrible. Yeah, I think it might be smart to actually, 3 ducats. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, it might be smart to go ahead and influence all my subjects. Just the ones that haven't been influenced yet. Already been influenced. How about tectonic? Nope, okay. It's a good time to influence them then. I am already influencing this particular. Okay. I'm also wondering about my relative power level, great power-wise. I mean, I'm probably in the upper 4. I am 4th, okay. I'm much more powerful than Aragon now. I think Castile dropped by a major amount as I just conquered all of their dev in Mesoamerica, so... I might eventually head south of the Darien Gap, but... I mean, this stuff is a wasteland for a reason, and there's no actual passage through, at least I don't believe so. Yeah, there's no straight passage. Now, I can look for an example of an actual straight passage and then make the conclusion on that. There's one over here in California. Yeah, it appears here. So, there's no actual land connection. Not really. Not one that troops can handle. Between North and South America. So you're at least going to have a transport vessel going from here to here. Or something. Or, less likely, from here to here. Still an absolute dev quantity. I'm probably 5th. At least assuming there isn't someone with, like, 1,800 dev over here, but that seems pretty unlikely. I don't think anyone is... Oh, geez, Bengal's owned by Ming. So that's how they're gonna get so much power. I mean, they already have Tibet. Yuck. That's terrifying. I also would like to know how much your dev Tibet has, but they only have majors, so they don't even have significant. Not even hegemonic. Okay. Major. Significant. Well, they're already great power, ranked number 7. Yeah, I don't think anyone actually has that much dev outside of maybe Majapahad, but they're also only major. Well, there is Ashikaga. Minor. Oh, it's direct development. Okay. I see now. I do have interests in eventually heading over to the Caribbean for good reason. You know, it's getting close to the end. Yeah, let's just call it here. And keep going with what's going to be a good end thing. Yeah. It would be smart to eventually head for Espanola and Saint Dominique. Though whether or not I'll actually do anything depends on that. It's the fact that there's France. And they own this directly. Of course. Wait, don't they have enough here for a colonial nation? Yeah, this stuff should form a colonial nation. Unless, oh right, these provinces are directly controlled. Yeah, look, Barbados is directly owned by Castile, besides the fact that they have... Yeah, this area is not a colonial nation. Okay, here it is. Colonial region. Yeah, this isn't colonial. It's at most a trade charter. In fact, it looks like it's, considering that that's not there, so... Yep, Portuguese West Indies Company. Theoretically part of the colonial Caribbean, but it doesn't actually look to be the case. Yeah, it looks like they're part of a trade region. Well, trade charter. Trade region, yeah, instead. So yeah, that's stuff I can't actually judge. This, I could, theoretically. That's owned by French Columbia. HD. That's part of this province. Okay. This is directly owned by France. Yep. So there is no way I can fully control the Caribbean, but at least I can increase my level of control inside the Caribbean in the future in order to reduce the leakage, if I'm to be honest. This is the best way to describe it. Leakage out of here. It goes into the Guyana node and the Caribbean node. And most of it's going towards Caribbean. Although most of that is because France has a huge quantity of light ships in here. 153 you trade out from light ships. Although I assume it's more than there is before, otherwise it would be absurd. Because over here, I get 270 and I've got over 30 light ships patrolling here. So there has to be more, it's just I don't see them in the moment. Could be because there's one here, for example. Another one here. Maybe thought they were on the way or something. I don't know. Australia note. Like, oh. Wait. Colonial Polynesia. Oh, whoops. That's trade notes. I was looking at trade notes. Right. Colonial Polynesia. Oceanic Charter. There's also an Oceanic Charter. This is, however, a colonial region. Otherwise, I would be able to set up a trade charter. And since I have my capital in a colonial region, I don't produce colonies. It's that simple. I can't wait until I get my religious unity up. Yeah, one of my current problems is that I have low religious unity, relatively low. It's only at 78%, which is affecting my stability and, more importantly, my missionary strength. However, these provinces are really easy to convert because they're both states and correct culture. Makes it incredibly easy, especially since Castillo already has increased local missionary strength as one of its things. I mean, mine does too, but my corruption is reducing. I haven't done any reforms, so that's why. My income is also increasing again. This is due to reduced corruption. Plus my property has gotten a sudden influx in value. And a huge amount more territory also, well, this territory is also pretty well developed, so I'll probably get at least something out of it, although I don't seem to... Oh, yep. Rent dues here. And rent dues here. So really, I'm not getting much in the way of income in a lot of places. Heck. Okay, there's a high salt excise in the capital, but... And high citizen service. I do need to eventually move to conscription, though. If only to make it even cheaper for me to get... I don't actually need more manpower, though. I could reduce manpower taxation in the future. There's also the fact that my state reach reduced. Oh yeah, that's right. I grabbed a bunch of territory. That will inevitably reduce state reach because most other countries are not nearly as centralized as I am, especially in areas where there might be more... Well... stuff. Tribals? Yeah. Let's just say quite a few provinces are actually being administered better under me than they were under New Spain. Though not all provinces, and it seems to be pretty inconsistent over what exactly is the case. Like, this province is going to get pretty close to 100, though this probably has to do with how powerful the elites are. And perhaps the level of separatism? No? Heck, the elites are more powerful here. I'm honestly not sure. Might be communication. Nope, it's not communication either. Okay, I honestly don't have a clue. Overextension is affecting it, that I know. Oh well. Is there anything I can do here? Am I even taxing the burgers? I don't want to touch legitimacy right now. I don't need nobility. The nobility that much. Okay. Oh, that's also why my income has improved. I'm no longer donating to the church. A large quantity of my income. Oh, and grain provisions are gone too. That would also explain why expenses have suddenly decreased. Because it's hundreds of ducats a year to pay for the grain of everyone in the realm. Which does have a major impact on my finances, but it also helps keep the country under control. If only I could permanently turn it on. A permanent welfare system for the population of my realm. Yeah, okay. Is there anything else? Well, there haven't been any wars. I've mainly been recovering. A coalition has formed against me. However, it's all colonial nations, so Hispaniola, New Granada, New Castile, Castilian Peru, and Mexique, of course. But yeah, those 5, that's it. They're also colonial nations, so they... Well, even if they're unlikely to attack me, just in general. And even if they do have a decent army, the only one that... Well, New Castile will have to walk a long way. Mexique is weak. And then Hispaniola and New Granada don't have large navies. Or at least not particularly large. I find it unlikely that they would be able to descend their entire army in one batch. Which would leave them pretty vulnerable, especially since I could take them all on individually without problems. Or heck, even 2 at a time. I've got 34,000 in my main army. The largest they have are 15,000 and 16,000, which is 31,000. The largest pair, anyway. Adding 14,000 may be troublesome, but there's also army composition to be worried about, etc. There's also been some rebellions, but they've been put down. This colony is progressing. It's slow, but it's expected to be slow. I'm mostly letting the Europeans do their thing. Especially since I can just handle this stuff myself, for the most part. And I'm still coring, so it's going to take time for that. Yeah. Yeah, okay. You know, I haven't actually checked too much autonomy, but... Many of the this upper area of the Yucatan, the upper Yucatan Peninsula, is all 0% autonomy, which is great. Oh, there was also a smallpox epidemic that spread through a large portion of the country. It's recovering, if slowly. Yeah, okay. And all that. Coring will take a long time to do different culture group from my primary culture group plus wrong religion. I've gone on long enough. There was a lot of jockeying for influence, and honestly there still is. Between the bureaucrats and the metropolitans. It keeps swapping back and forth. The level of influence the aristocrats are going to have is starting to look dangerous, though. Though I probably will end up promoting the bureaucratic faction eventually. Well, rather soon. Though at the same time, I also plan on getting conscription. Well, enlistment. Which will happen in a couple of years. 1680 is my plan. I'm also low on Diplo points, so I might actually not be able to take Diplotech. That would be surprising. But I only need about 220 points anyway. So I doubt it's going to be that much of an issue. I don't think so. I've got 2 years to gather points, even with Diplo taxation. Anyway, I've gone on for well long enough. I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye. I really should avoid making this ending segment longer than 10 minutes.